It is week 4 of the NFL season. It is time to preview Jets versus Chiefs. Well, welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I am Adam, aka WattsUK99. Thanks everybody for taking the time to watch this video. Just a reminder, please like, subscribe, and share if you haven't done yet already. And of course, we go live every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. So definitely check it out. We have a really good group of folks who talk about all kinds of different topics in the New York sports world. Definitely you want to come by and be a part of it. I appreciate everybody's support. So with all that out of the way, let's get into this Jets versus Chiefs game. Obviously, the Chiefs are favored by quite a bit, 9.5, and I am genuinely stunned it is not about 13.5. That's about what I figured it would be. But we'll see what winds up happening here. I mean, when you really look at the rosters here, outside of quarterback, the rosters are not all that far apart. It's just that the Chiefs have the history, they have the head coach who is very proven, and they're used to playing these types of games in big spots. But let's get a little more in-depth. Let's get a little granular and break down these matchups, starting with the Jets offense against the Chiefs defense. Now, everybody talks about Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and the explosiveness of the Kansas City offense. But don't overlook this D, okay? The Kansas City defense is allowing just 13.3 points per game. That is 4th best in the NFL, allowing 290 yards per game. That is 6th best in the league, doing very, very well against the pass. Now, with their pass rush, George Karlaftis has 2 sacks. They have Mike Dano with 2.5. Probably their best-known defensive player is Chrisjones, the defensive tackle. He missed the first game, and in the 2 games since, he has 2.5 sacks. So he's kind of getting into form right now. Did miss some of practice this week with an injury, but he is expected to play. So I'll tell you what, the interior offensive line, they better be ready. Now, I thought the Jets' offensive line looked quite a bit better against New England than they did against Dallas when it was reconfigured. But Laken Tomlinson, Connor McGovern, and Joe Tippmann, whoever winds up lining up across from Chris Jones, they have a responsibility to not let him beat them. And if that means you double him, you do it. Okay. Now, one big injury for the Chiefs to look out for here is Nick Bolton, their linebacker. He is not going to play in this game. He's kind of like their C.J. Mosley. He's not going to give you a lot of sacks, turnovers, but he's a very effective, smart tackler. Maybe sort of like the quarterback of the defense. He will be out for this game. That could play very, very important. If the Jets can get... If the Jets can get a running back past the defensive line and into that second level of the defense, it could be very, very important. All right. Now, with the Chiefs secondary, LaJariussneed, he's looking really good. 3 tackles for a loss, and he's a cornerback. You don't see that very often in 3 games. Trent McDuffie, a recent draft pick, 16 tackles, 2 forced fumbles. So really the best way to attack the Kansas City defense is to not force your way up the middle, especially where Chris Jones is. You want to get to the outside and test their tacklers. So this is where the Jets have to get the ball to their playmakers and get it to them with a little bit of space. That is on Zachwilson to recognize coverage, but it's also on Nathaniel Hackett to recognize the weaknesses of the Kansas City defense, as few as there are, but figure out what is the best way to attack. And I don't feel like we've seen enough creativity in Nathaniel Hackett's play calling. So I don't mind the run game, doing all these runs on first down. Last week, the Jets had 13 first down plays. They ran 10 times, averaged 2 yards per run. But often, over and over, it was a run up the middle for 2 yards. There were no counters, no motion, no misdirection, nothing like that. And the Jets have to get more creative if they are going to win when they are this limited at quarterback. And I don't understand why we as Jets fans get that, but the coaching staff doesn't seem to. Okay, so I need to see Breecehall, Michael Carter, Dalvincook have a big game. I don't think Israel Abanikanda is going to play anytime soon, but collectively these running backs have to do very, very well. And hey, can we finally play McCole Hardman now that he's facing his old team? You know, how much more when you have CJ Uzama and Randall Cobb on the field at the same time, lining out wide, how much can you really expect this offense to do? So hopefully Hardman gets a legitimate chance to do something this week. All right, now let's do what we always do. Let's flip the script. When the Chiefs offense is on the field against the Jets defense, this is the matchup people are talking about. I'll tell you what, this Chiefs offense, it's amazing. I'll give you one stat. The Chiefs offense over the last 32 games has scored under 20 points only twice. Twice in 32 games. I think the Jets offense has exceeded 20 points twice in the last 32 games, for crying out loud. Patrick Mahomes, enough said, great at avoiding the pass rush, very mobile in the pocket, and he spreads the ball out very, very well. You know, with Tyreek Hill gone, he doesn't really have that number one grade A wide receiver at this point. He has several effective ones instead. Now, the pride of Rutgers, Isaiah Pacheco, is the team's leading running back, averaging 4.4 yards per rush. You also have Jerick McKinnon, very good running back, especially when it comes to catching the ball out of the backfield. And then at wide receiver, it is Justin Watson who has a team-high 158 yards. Skyymoore, second-year receiver, is a good deep threat. You still have Marquez Valdez-Scantling as well. He's kind of the veteran. I also like rasheerice, the rookie. He's very talented, a little bit raw, but he's got 10 catches on 14 targets. I think as the season goes on, count on rasheerice to be maybe either the leading or second leading wide receiver on this Kansas City roster. And then tight end Noah Gray, he has a team high 11 catches. You know, it's a tight end who has the most catches on the Chiefs, but it's not Travis Kelce, it's Noah Gray. And as far as Mr. Taylor Swift goes, well, the Jets are going to have to come up with some plan to contain him. I think Quincywilliams is going to have a very big responsibility to sort of shadow him. I will be very interested to see what the Jets wind up doing. Will it be Quincywilliams? Will they use saucegardner against him? Will they use DJ Reed? They could go a number of ways here. Will they mix up their coverages? They could do all kinds of things here. But it's, you know, the biggest thing people usually have to worry about when they're facing Kansas City is how are we going to contain or limit number 87? And Jeff Ulbrich is going to have his hands full with that. But the offensive line is really interesting. The interior offensive line of joethuney, creedhumphrey, and treysmith may be the best in the league. You have two new tackles in Donovan Smith and Jawan Taylor. Now, the thing is, the Jets, the one thing I'm glad is that the Jets aren't a blitzing team, because Patrick Mahomes eats up a blitz and spits it out for lunch. Because here's the thing, when you're blitzing, you have fewer defenders in coverage to cover the receivers. Okay? So the best thing the Jets can do is to keep rushing the four, but have them actually do their job this week. And I would expect if they're going to get pressure, it's going to have to come from the outside. Because to generate pressure on a joethuney or a Creedhumphrey is going to be very, very challenging. So those are some thoughts on the Chiefs offense versus the Jets defense. Couple of other notes. Harrisonbutker, excellent kicker for Kansas City. He's made 14 of 14 kicks this season. Gregzuerlein back in action for the Jets, looking great as well. And finally, we got a couple of notes for the Virginia Jets fans. It'll be AJ Gators. Be there Sunday night at 8 o'clock p.m. We've got 50-50. We've got door prizes. And we've got premium raffles. So bring yo cash. Bring those greenbacks with you. And let's hope that we have the bar all to ourselves. That is a game worth getting excited about, and let's hope it goes well. Well, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you right back here once I'm back in the wicker chair. See you later.